Heavy is the head that has to manage all of this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel.
We're now incentivized to buy what we already buy.
Fumbling through college had me building.
I also got some done on the other side.
And that was right around, I would say, May, maybe, right before renewing the lease for this property.
Welcome to the channel, Martha.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, I was going to say, I am getting up in their names, I'll tell you what.
Bills paid by other people, life was never this good. I had to step back, knowing that it's...
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about what President Trump has proposed, which is to use your 401k in order to buy real estate. And what do I think about that? We're also going to talk about the credit card industry and the 10% cap that he is trying to put on credit card companies and what I think about that. We're going to start with the negatives. I'll get straight into it. The negative is if people can now start to pull from their 401ks, already the average age of home ownership is 40 years old. Those with actual money is still going to be around 40, 50, 60 years old in their 401k. What does that do? That gives people access to $200, $300, $400,000. What do people typically do when they can now put a down payment on a home with $400,000? They'll at least buy a home that's worth $600,000 because the $400,000 home isn't sufficient. It's not sufficient because they have more money. And when you have more money, you spend more money. These are people who needed their jobs to invest on their behalf. Some didn't even know that they were pouring into a 401k for 10, 20, 30 years until they saw it balloon to an amount in which they were even baffled. Somehow they lived all this time without that income, but now all of a sudden they need it in order to sustain themselves right here today. What does that do? That drives up the economy, boosts sales, circulates money throughout the markets, allows us as the U.S. to pay off our debts a little bit faster. We'll probably spend over $1 trillion, maybe even $2 trillion if people can access their 401ks within a year, and then it goes into real estate within the U.S. Banks will profit heavily. Mortgage lenders will make money hand over fist. The economy will boom like it's never boomed before. Inflation in the housing market will be at an all-time high, even more higher than it was during the pandemic with zero interest rates. Because now the rate itself doesn't matter. It's the cash on hand that has now become king. The younger generation will be priced out even further. They'll be screaming, build more housing, build more housing, build more housing. And then anyone who offers affordable housing will also be making hand over fist. Affordable housing, affordable housing, affordable housing. We've heard that all before. It will continue. It will continue. Those with cash can be subsidized on the rent. And those who are subsidizing the rent are going to be making a boatload of money. Not only from you, but from the government, from the city and state that is lowering their taxes for providing you such a service. And then our 20-year-olds, our 30-year-olds in this renter nation, in these affordable houses that treat it like garbage, will be wondering, where is my money? Let me grow my 401k to now buy a home. Because it is now so unaffordable that we can no longer save our way into home ownership. We must invest our way into home ownership. This is a laughable event, a laughing matter. The rich will get richer. Those with assets will continue to improve upon them. Inflation will hit the housing market, and if you have real estate, you will be swimming in appreciation. Those without real estate will be trying to catch up on an income that does not beat inflation, does not rise at the same cost. Now, let's talk about credit card companies and capping at 10%. I've never been late on a credit card payment. I want to make that clear before I make this statement. I've never been late or paid interest on any card that I've ever had. What would a 10% cap do to most people? It will actually give them some breathing room, actually allow them to pay off debt and catch up. It might even encourage them to get out of consumer debt. Even if for a year, they may very well take advantage of that. There are some people who won't have to file bankruptcy. This is good news to Americans who are struggling with debt. We're in a debt crisis, and getting such relief would absolutely benefit the masses, because I would greatly wager that at least 67% of Americans over the age of 18 are in consumer debt. I don't need ChatGPT to tell me that. I can really just take an educated guess, a hypothesis, and tell you that at least 67% of people over the age of 18 are probably in consumer debt. And so with that being said, we understand that in order for them to get some breathing room, a 10% cap does truly help with that, even if it is for a year. People who truly want to get out of it won't wait. They'll start to pay it down, and eventually they'll get to a place where, they can actually see the end of the tunnel and then not make that mistake again in the future. It is a short-term solution that hopefully has long-term ramifications for those who are smart enough to take advantage. Will this pass? Well, the banks are fighting back. They want to make money, and they understand that they make money off of you being negligent with your spending and not being able to pay your items back in a timely manner. And so banks are absolutely against this. Now, do I think that a 10% cap will come? No. Not unless the government does something to support banks or institutions, or President Trump gives them something in return for cutting their own selves at the neck for a year, right? Sometimes it's a negotiation. Sometimes it's a give and take. Don't ask people to open their house up to everyone, allow them to take the food and run off, and they don't get anything else in return. No, you can't ask for that. So you have to give them something back that makes sense. Now, if you like this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. You know I post on YouTube, Rumble, and Spotify for podcasters, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.